cut defense versus versus the knee cut, but our defense to get out of that position, reset to guard, just a nice simple motion, all the good mechanics inside of it that are super important. I want to refresh on that and then get to the second half of this one. And these are like cousin techniques. They're not like direct siblings and stuff. They're very similar, but some of the goals, some of the ideas in it are identical. Some are a little bit different because what you're trying to set up and what you're trying to do is very different throughout. And they're kind of meant for two different modes of pressure that you're feeling from the person trying to pass you and how you deal with it. So Professor, you'll start standing up. And we'll just start in a position here where I'm gonna have Professor over the top of me and he's gonna descend down to a knee slice, and I'm gonna be like, not fight on this part. We'll just assume this is, we get caught in the position, we get driven to the position. Really the option gets taken away from us where they drop in into that knee slice and they're pretty firm on their positioning. They're still trying to really control and set up the pass from there. And we meet them, stop them on the initial drive, and take it from there. So we're in here and Professor drives himself down and gets me to this flattened out position, and I start by blocking the position. This is first and foremost, everyone. I have to stop, I gotta stem the tide. We can't let them just walk right over us or the sucker's over, right? The fight, we never even got a chance to be in the fight. So our hands have to extend and we have to block to that position and really hold them here. The other thing that's super important and pertinent to this one is active toes, everyone. We gotta dig those pinky toes in, outside ridge of our foot. We really have to drive into there, whatever angle you're comfortable with, whatever level of flexibility. But that foot right here is literally giving you that circuit of energy. It is a direct connection of electricity to power you to really drive off the ground and get into our position. So it's both here and here. Even more so than anticipating with the knee shield here, shin shield here. Even more important than having this in position are these first two elements, because you can build that shin back in, but without these, even if you have this one in and nothing else is in place, you're gonna fall apart pretty quickly. The wheels are gonna come off. So it's really important, everyone, if you have that choice to extend and really block them out here with our arms, really get some good tension in it, and Professor, you'll lean on me just a little, just so we have that good tension back and forth, and then that gives us time to go active toes. Once we get to active toes, everyone, it's actually pretty easy to get our leg in. If you can't quite get it into the position, you give a shallow punch and you're right to position. Now this drill should be very familiar. We did it not that long ago, everyone, but it's quite simply punching from three parts of our body, our two hands and our shin shield here, so that I can get my bottom knee above my hip line. So hip line, imagine if I was standing up, straight out in front of my hip, kind of like where you would hold your knee up, and I'm just gonna wheel it here to in front of me. As I wheel it in front, everyone, I'll then look to make contact with my legs, whether it's feet on hips, whether it's a log guard, whether it's a whatever type of guard you prefer. I just know feet on hips and log guard are probably the two easiest to get to from here. Maybe half guard as well. That's kind of a given. We're almost in the half guard. Are the two easiest to get to, but the idea is that we punch out and move this bottom leg out from under, okay? So part of blocking is to make sure this knee doesn't get to the ground. It makes it a different technique, something we're going to address on our next one. The next one will be a good one for it. The other big thing, everyone, is on this punch, we don't pre-frame by extending our body. I saw this a little bit yesterday, a few folks doing this one live time, and although they weren't really we weren't stressing and training, they were trying to okay, well, if I elongate my body before I go, this should help me. But in fact, it shortens up your punch. Your hands are no longer really touching them very well. Even if they're driving in, you don't have the same kind of punch factor, if you will, and your knee also. Not to mention, when they get in here, Professor can start basically laying his lat on my knee and smashing them together to go for that pass. You've actually taken away what is making you powerful, being compact, being kind of pressurized in a small spot, and really being able to pop out of that position. Okay, so go ahead and drive in, coach. Boom, we're here checking into it. I have active toes, I have my hands checking. I'll work to get this one in. Maybe even in a short punch, we'll get to our position here. Coach is gonna keep driving into it heavy and punch and reset. Just that simple, just that small motion. All I did was raise my knee from here to here and then open it up to find his hip, or fire through and extend for a lock guard or any variation of. That idea really has to work off of your training partner giving that good pressure forward, and then when I'm ready, I time all three pushes at once. And it should be just kind of an effortless movement. We are going to go from our side to a little bit to our back, but if you notice, my left side is still up. I want to use this. This is really important to have that left side still up. It gives still good leverage within the position to be able to move and manipulate their posture, right? One that we did a month and a half. Hopefully everyone remembers it from then. Just an absolute must of a guard retention drill. This is a good one to stop things before they develop much worse pretty quickly, especially if they drop in. Gets you out of that position pretty quick. Okay, let's just do a different angle now. Over the top here, he drives, he descends, we block right away. Man, my instinct brings my shin in right away, but no worries if that shin's not in, we just punch, we can get into the position. But active toes, hands blocking, that is everything to this technique. And then from here, everyone, it's about a coordinated effort of punching evenly to really get ourselves out. That might be the toughest part, because really what's so tempting is to punch mostly with your knee and your arms hardly doing any of the work, and then it becomes a tougher job to really move them off. Even going slowly, you can kind of see Professor, I'm gonna just punch with my knee, my hands are just gonna complement here. He hardly goes anywhere and moves, yet I'm elongated. We mistime this, everyone. One of my favorite follow-ups from here is to go forearm down into your quad and then smash the knees together to pass through, boom, and really collide in this position. So it has to have a level of sharpness and evenness to the punch through. We're here, active toes, and that whatever my knee does, my hands have to do. So I'll just take a little bit off that leg, put a little bit more into our arms, boom, and that punch is very even, very strong, and really kind of fills that space beautifully to recover to our guard, okay?